I'm extremely tired. This one here is not at all. It's so hyper.
I'm ready to play. What are we gonna do today? Huh?
You really should not have gotten a Frappuccino in the morning.
I'm so happy.
Oh my gosh.
I can't stop laughing.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
He never drinks caffeine.
Life is so much fun.
He never drinks
I
caffeine.
think there's drugs in here.
No.
Rest at home. It's a fleeting thought.
In the Caymans.
I got my balcony. Yes.
This is the room. I think this is a boutique place. It's very, I don't know, it gives me a boutique vibe. Oh, this is nice. Me and Brian will share a queen.
No, that's my bed. What you mean?
Here we go. Oh, beautiful. There it is. Beautiful. Babe, how did you enjoy the stingrays?
Oh man, they're my new buds. So we held them, and it felt like the slimiest, softest blanket. I'm like, how do I get a shirt in this material? Because it's so comfortable. It was like coming up onto you, and then like, you know, we kissed it, and all that good stuff.
I kissed it. Did you see me?
Yeah.
I kissed it. Welcome to the Coal Life. We are in the Cayman Islands. It is absolutely beautiful. We are here on a work trip similar to the work trip that we did in Cancun
6 months ago.
6 months ago, and it kind of brought us back to a lot of memories, and honestly back to just the video and the responses we got from Colorism in Cancun. Side note, a lot of you are probably wondering what Brian does, and we are going to explain that. But yeah, it was interesting because a lot of the responses that we received were surprisingly not what we were really going for, because a lot of people thought that we were, you know, us just not doing anything was a good response.
Like we handled it in silence.
Yeah, like we handled it in silence, we just didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And that's not who we are. We really wanted to explain what we did and how we handled it after that. And this will honestly spur up conversation of how we handle racism in our family, racism outside of our home, and just racism in our lives, because it's something that is constantly shown and thrown at us.
Yeah. Because
of just who we are and us being a couple.
Yeah, so in this video, again, we want to hit the points of how we handle those tension, those moments of tension, those moments of conflict, because our philosophy is not one of complete passivity where we don't say anything and we're just silent. That's not the impression we want to give. We want to talk through our idea and philosophy of that and what you guys would think of how you're supposed to handle these things. So, but first, what do I do?
Okay,
let's see if you can explain.
Okay, I think I can explain it. Brian works for an HR company. Before this particular role that he just got promoted to, he was a sales rep for big companies, right? He sells payroll for big companies. Over what, how many employees? Like over 100 employees. I'm killing it. I think I'm killing it. So he does that, and then, well, he used to do that. Now he's been promoted to this job. Ooh, let me try to get it right. He helps salespeople with broker relationships. And he helps them learn how to have a relationship with brokers.
So Lexi has this tendency to simplify everything in life. Like she is I love you. Terrible storyteller. Oh my God.
I am not the best.
She'll break down a story and give you the bullet points like, yeah, so it went here and it did this and that's done. Yeah. And I can carry on the story for like an hour.
If your job is past 3 words, I don't know what you do.
She always refers to my job as like the Chandler job. If you guys have watched Friends.
Do you guys watch Friends?
Which I love Friends.
Y'all don't know what Chandler did.
No one knows what Chandler did.
Y'all do
Something
not
about data.
No, exactly.
So
wait, you probably actually do know. What is it?
Data configuration analyst.
You're.
I'm just kidding. I just made that up. Essentially, she got it right. She simplified a little bit, and I won't give you guys the boring details, but I was in software sales for about 4.5 years with this company. We had a hire to retire platform for human capital management solutions, from recruiting to timekeeping to I can go into a lot more depth, but she doesn't want me to. So I was in software sales. I loved it, had a great time. So these trips were a lot of trips of celebration for hitting certain milestones within the organization. God blessed us a lot. I was one of the top reps in the company last few years. So we are able to go on these celebration trips and hang out and have fun. My new role is essentially what she said. So we have partnerships that I help our sales offices develop and create strategy around how we can get more from those partnerships and give more value back. So with this new role, I travel every week, just about. So
and I usually go with him probably every other trip.
So that's what I do. For all those that want to know, I probably confuse you guys even more. Hopefully we simplified it a little bit. I tend to overcomplicate things and give long explanations.
And I shorten them too much. We're trying to find a balance.
There's a balance in the middle.
There's a beautiful balance we're trying to get.
So when we were in the Colorism Cancun video, we didn't give the full story. So we kind of looked back over the video and realized we actually cut out the ending of the story.
Yeah, I think because we were so heated at the time, we were like, we need to make a video about this. This is wrong. And I think that we needed to talk about what we did afterwards, but we didn't finish. We did the video kind of in the middle of the story. Yeah. I think the biggest thing that is huge is that I wasn't the one that finished it. Brian finished it. And which I appreciate, one as a husband, and then one from talking to for a white person to talk to another white person about this, I think is somewhat helpful. Yeah,
so we talked about how when I found out what happened and who talked to her and what they said, I turned around so fast and was like running back to the beach almost to like go confront this girl and tell her about herself and go off because I was heated. Lexi's the one that grabbed me and pulled me back and said no. Right. For all the reasons we've given before. Yeah. So we ended the video with that understanding of that's what happened. I was pulled back and we never said anything. So people started commenting and saying, you guys handled it with class. You didn't approach her. You didn't, confront her in any way. Other people said, they thought something should have been said. Right. Well, the truth lies in the middle where we actually did confront.
Like crazy.
Yeah, it's a monsoon out here. So we have a belief that when things like this happen, when situations come up and there are racist comments made or things like that, that those things do need to be confronted. Not every situation, every encounter is different, every encounter is unique, but in general, those situations need to be confronted. Now, there is a skill in confronting them. Yeah. We don't believe in being rambunctious and obnoxious in our response.
Which
we don't
had
believe
to
in being
learn.
rowdy.
Unless they get rowdy, then there's a level of stepping up. In these situations, when it comes to us in a workplace, in a work environment, we have to handle this in a professional, delicate way.
But by no means does being skillful with our response mean that we don't respond. So I believe that there was a way of doing it. Now, again, in the heat of the moment, I want to just go off on her and, say things that God would not be happy with. So I didn't do that. We handled it in a very thorough way. So I actually talked to our HR department before I even confronted this girl because number one, I want to make sure that my back is covered, that nothing ever gets back in the way that I handled it to HR and people are complaining about me. So I'm covering myself, but also I want them to be aware of what's happening. And I don't believe in just being silent. I just truly don't. And unless there is a strong reason why silence is absolutely necessary, people are not going to be enlightened and come out of their ignorance unless they are confronted and had conversations with and discussions are had. So I fully believe in that.
Because we believe silence means agreement. Like you were okay with what happened. And I don't ever want to think that if something that I didn't agree with, if you felt that it was okay because I never said anything, I don't want that to ever be me. So
Yeah, so I talked to HR, I told them the story, I told them what happened, I made sure that they understood. But I told them, hey, I don't need this to go on her permanent record. I'm not trying to hurt her career, I'm not trying to hurt her status in the company or her perspective or how people view her. I want you all to be aware of what happened and how I'm going to handle it, and know that it's not okay. And I told them, here's how I'm going to handle it. I am going to email her and I'm going to set up a time to have a discussion. In that discussion, I am going to tell her what happened from our perspective, what she did wrong, how it felt to us, why there's history behind the words that she said and where that comes from, and I want to take moments to enlighten her and give her perspective.
And it's sad because in our society, I feel like in these environments, if a black person goes to a white person, I feel like that white people can take it as, oh, you're being too sensitive. Oh, I see that you're playing the race card, and I didn't want that. And Brian didn't want that. So he made sure that he was able to talk to her and tell her, like, no, that's not okay on both areas. Like, white and black, it's not okay.
Yeah, so, we had this conversation. I drilled down into detail. It was a very in-depth conversation. The great thing was she was open to having the conversation. She was, very sad and disheartened to hear how she came across. She was, devastated to think that she hurt my wife's feelings and this and that, which is all good. But I don't know how much of that is true, how much of that is not true. But, in the conversation, we went into the depths of why people have the subconscious biases that they have. Why do they have the thinking that they have, the mentalities towards color, and also trying to get her perspective to grow around the fact that you have to understand, my wife is the only black woman here, or one of 2 black women here. So by you saying this, it sounds like this. And by you saying this, it comes across as this. Like, we had to go in depth in that conversation. And then she said things that we hear a lot of white people say when they either, number one, get defensive about racism, the taboo word, or when they just don't understand. Maybe it's a combination of both. But she said, listen, I have a ton of black friends, and I have black people that I absolutely love in my life. I would never mean to hurt. Having black friends does not mean you can't be racist.
Y'all know,
okay?
y'all have heard that so many times. Oh, I have black friends. That makes you okay to say what? So that, to me, that made it seem like you thought it was okay. Like, it's not, and it's not like, oh, it wasn't like she was too drunk to understand. It's like, no, she really thought that what she said was
she remembered
okay.
what she said.
And that's the other thing, because a lot of you were asking if she remembered what she said. She knew what she was saying, and she thought it was okay.
I don't think she meant it into a hateful way.
And she didn't mean it in a hateful way, but she thought because she is connected to black people, I think that she felt very comfortable to say what she wanted to say, and that is not okay. And so that's what you were telling her.
Exactly. And having black friends, having black people in your life does not give you an understanding of black life, all right? It gives you understanding of maybe 1% of what goes on, but people are still blind to the inner workings of systematic racism. They're still blind to how black people actually feel and what they go through. And if you don't take time to empathize and to learn and to be educated about those things, then you're still just as ignorant as you were before, but you just happen to like a black person. To be honest, back in the civil rights movement, you would hear white people say, oh no, I love black people. Black people are amazing. They just belong in the kitchen, behind the restaurant. No, black people are incredible, but they should have their own bathrooms though, because we don't want to mingle. But I love black people. So saying you got black friends doesn't matter nay bit.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And it also shows that you still differentiate us. Like, you still you still feel a difference, because for you to even say that was disrespectful. But
anyways, the point that we're making is that there was a conversation that was had. There was an opportunity that I saw to educate, to potentially enlighten, to whatever degree. And I don't know how much impact that conversation had. She said she got it and she understands, which she won't fully understand from one conversation. There's no way possible that will happen. But potentially, did we spark a conversation that is gonna make her think before she talks next time? Hopefully. A lot of, and I won't say a lot of Christians, but there are Christians even close to us that believe the way you show love is to give hugs and kisses and make sure everyone's happy and make sure that you suffer in silence. And if someone, you know, slaps your cheek, you turn the other cheek, and their interpretation of that is to walk away, to make sure you all just keep a great little relationship and never have conflicting conversations. I don't believe that's what the Bible means when it says show the love of Christ.
No.
Christ came down and he was extremely confrontational. Any of you who have read Matthew, Luke, Mark, and John, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, put in order. Oh, am I a real Christian? Any of you who've read the Gospels know that Christ came down and confronted the heck out of everybody because he loved them and because he was correcting, he was challenging.
The Pharisees, vipers.
Vipers.
Okay.
So don't tell me that showing love only means giving hugs and suffering in silence. If someone does something mean to you, you just gotta take it, grin it, and bear it, and show love back.
And honestly, I think that sometimes showing love is confrontation.
Sometimes, I think it is many times.
Yeah, I think that you actually having a conversation with people, which we kind of talked about in relationships, but having that conversation with people like what you did is not letting people be ignorant.
Yes.
And some people are just downright hateful, and some people are literally just lost. They don't know what's going on.
Just don't know what they're doing.
And you can learn a lot by having a confrontational conversation. I also want to say that we did see the woman this trip.
Yes.
And we were fine. Like she came up to us, she gave us hugs.
We hugged her back.
Yes.
We showed love back.
Yeah, but we also, kept our space. Like, we're not.
I don't need to be buddy-buddy.
You don't need to be friends. But all of that to say is that we said what we said. You know what's up, and we're going to keep it moving, and that's okay.
But again, I truly believe that we can show the love of Christ, but still handle business.
Yeah.
And still protect our spouse. Still make sure my wife feels secure and safe with me. Still make sure she knows I have her back till the end. Front, back, the beginning, the end, all the way across.
Because sometimes it's not always love and being straight and just having the conversation. Sometimes, which there has been times where Brian had to buck up.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk more about that too, so. But yeah, that is our story. We just wanted to share the whole story because we felt that we kind of honestly just shared half of it. But let us know what you think on that, because I know a lot of Christians, a lot of just people in general have different perspectives of confrontation, how to handle confrontation, what do you do in situations like this?
Yep.
Because some people think that, racism is always around, I'm just going to ignore it, and I don't agree.
So how
we stand up.
The other big question is, how do we show love as Christians, but not just suffer in silence? Not just watch atrocities happen and say nothing, watch injustices happen and say nothing. How do we handle these conversations with people who are close in our life or strangers, but do it with the love of God?
Also, I'm just sad, guys. Look at this. Ooh. Like, do you see? Look at this. It's rainy. Thanks for watching, guys. And we will see you next video. We got some interesting stuff we're about to talk about, so see ya. Love you guys.
And one of the last but very important questions that I have as we are here in the islands is, how in the heck do you keep a linen shirt wrinkle-free? It's impossible. I'm trying to get my island
I totally
on.
thought you were talking about the rain. I was like, this rain is ridiculous, guys.
I'm trying to get my island on right now with this linen shirt, but I don't know how to keep it wrinkle-free. It is impossible. There's no amount of steam that can keep this wrinkle-free.